Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful day. Welcome. Let us take the time. Say it with me. Thank you. As you go through your day today, stop and say thank you every single chance you remember. Why? You're not just saying thank you because you can talk. You're saying thank you because you are watching your life change before your very eyes. And you have the ability to look back on your life and say, oh my God, look at how far I've come. Look at what I've learned. Look at what I am applying. Thank you. Now, who are you saying thank you to? The one who's putting in the work, the one who's tilling the soil of your mind, the one who gets up every day and says, oh my God, can I really do this? The one looking back at you in the mirror. You're saying thank you. You're not just saying thank you randomly and willy nilly. You're saying thank you because you've learned something. And not only have you learned it, but you are applying it every single day of your life. Some days you apply it more than others. But the point of the matter is, you are applying. You are applying what you've learned. That is why you say thank you. When you see something grow in your life, when you watch your harvest, you say, what? Why, thank you. That's what you say. You won't be able to help yourself. You won't be able to help yourself at all. Thank you will just pour forth from you. Why? Because sometimes it's the only thing you can say when something moves you so much. All you can say is thank you, right? Gratitude. It's all you can say is thank you. It's nothing you have to fake. Look back in your life. And if you can see where you've come from and where you've gone to, say thank you. When you look back and you see what you've come out of that seemed so impossible, say thank you. Just simply mutter, "Hmm, thank you." Or even, thanks. I sure appreciate that. Whew, thank you. Yes, a simple thank you. Now, what will it do? What's in it for you when you say thank you? Encouragement is in it for you when you say thank you. Ponder that for a moment. What do you mean? Encouragement is in it for me. Yes, encouragement is in it for you when you say thank you. Indeed, it is. Because it shows you, by way of law of polarity, where you started out, what you were doing, and where you're right now, the new way that you're living, and the new things you're doing. But what if I'm not altogether faithful, Angela? What if I just do it sporadically? Just keep doing it. Why? Because the sporadic will become the what? The true, the faithful. You'll get there. No sense in beating yourself up. Get up and brush your knees off and simply say, oh, I'm ready to go again. That's what it is. That is what it is. You get up and you say thank you. If you don't know what to say thank you for, look around you. Is it a sunny day outside? Is it a little bit breezy? Hmm? Did you meet somebody? Did you make a new friend? Say thank you. But you see, we take it for granted, don't we? Because we've been conditioned to think that when you're saying thank you to this God, little g, in the sky, and you're just lucky enough that you made it and he didn't wipe you out. And that's really and truly, if you think about the law, it is always allowing you to rise higher and higher, better and better, freer and freer, without punishment, without judgment, without reward. Yes. Now that's why you say thank you. That you learned, you are learning, and that you apply. There's this there's this sense of just take your time with it. All you're doing is practicing. That's all you're doing is practicing. And then you practice. What are you practicing? You say thank you for that too, that you can see what you're doing. All you're practicing is, was I aligned? And how do you know that you're aligned? Because correspondence, the thing in your mind and the thing we created, they correspond. Now you say what? Ah, I'm in alignment. Thank you. Sometimes we think it is trivial. Sometimes we think it is trivial. But to say thank you is one of the most beautiful things that you can do. It is one of the most beautiful things you can do. It really is. I said a phrase to the early ones today on a fan base. You know, it softens. The law softens in more ways than one. If you find that your heart is hard, you just doubt. You just say, nonsense, Angela. Foolishness you talk of. You don't know the life I had or the life I'm living right now. It doesn't matter how hard you think your heart is. You see, in order to plant the seeds, the law will soften. It will soften your heart. Yes. So that when you put the seed in there, the image, the thing you're wanting to recreate, it'll take root. And then, of course, you'll be surprised. Oh my word, what a coincidence. You'll be so surprised. What happened? That your mouth is hanging open and all you can say is, uh, thank you? Yes. You see, practice. You're not, it's, when they tell you, oh, gratitude is the attitude you must live by. Sure, nothing is wrong with that. But always be aware of what you are doing. When you say thank you, let it be deliberate. Hmm? Let it be deliberate. Why? If I walk up to Noah and say, thanks. Sometimes if you see the look that he will give you over the top of his glasses, he's like, what? What are you talking about, Mom? Right? That's what he's going to say to me. Be deliberate when you say thank you. Because in that thank you, you are conditioning your body to do what? To pay attention to what you are doing deliberately. So that when you say thank you, it is associated with something. And now the body prepares itself. It is always looking for a reason to say thank you. Don't be random about things because there is no randomness. Align with the law, and you will be deliberate. You become deliberate. You become more focused. You become more ordered in your living, less chaotic. If you just pick one of those seven principles, the one that jumps out at you first, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, gender, whichever one jumps out at you first, go with that one. Because truly, there's only one anyway. And if you live by it, you will find yourself more and more in alignment. And thus, you will always be saying thank you because now it just becomes your lifestyle, your way of being. Hmm. And then you'll find, mm, yes, beautiful. I see you. I will get there in a minute. But it is such a beautiful thing when you watch the law unfold. It's quite like when you watch your garden grow. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. It's just like that. You just watch it grow and you're like, wow, how beautiful is that? My garden is sprouting. It's in full bloom, right? It'll make you say thank you. It'll just pour out of your mouth, out of your heart. So that's why I say to you today, if you are in the thick of it and you find that you're frustrated and you find that you're worried, just align with the law and it will soften your heart. It will soften your heart. Almost as if by magic. Almost. But you'll know it's not magic. Well, how would you know? Because you will know what you planted. You will know what you said. I'm going to do this thing. And then an opportunity presents itself for you to do the thing you said. And then you'll know that you are reaping what you have sown. It is law every single time. That's why when you plant the seed, you go out and you water it and you make sure the squirrels aren't digging it up because you know them. They're cute, but pesky sometimes. And what does that look like? What does the squirrel in your garden look like? It looks like that thought that says, are you sure? You really think this is going to happen in your life? That's what the squirrel is. Mm-hmm. Looking for nuts. Looking for the doubt anywhere it can find it. And remember what doubt is, just something that you already believe. That's why you can't believe the new one, because the space is already full. But if you go out there and you make sure the seeds are still planted, which means what? The desire is still there. They haven't dug it up. Now you water. Make sure that clear sunlight. Oh, yes. A sunny disposition, meaning what? I put this seed in the ground and it's growing. I can't see that it's growing because I can't see through the dirt. I'm not Superman. I don't have x-ray vision, but I know that seed, as long as it's in the ground, it is growing. And I will keep watering and plucking the weeds. And then what happens? You see the sprout. It bursts through the soil because what? You call that a coincidence. We start seeing things happen in our world. We start seeing little things. Some people call it birds before land. Ah, it is correspondence. Call things their true name. Correspondence. Meaning what is within the earth is now coming out. As within, so without. You planted corn, only corn can sprout. So whatever that thing is, that seed that you're planting in your life, a new career, a new car, a new home, new friendships, whatever they are that you've planted, you know that you have to get up in the morning and go out and do what? Nurture the seed that you've planted. And how do you nurture the seed? By making sure the critters haven't gotten it, meaning your doubts and your fears and your worries. Making sure that you nurture it with water. How do you do that? Oh, I planted this. I know it's growing, even though I can't see it yet. And the sunlight will be there. You don't have to do anything for that. Just got to remind yourself that, yep, I planted. I can only reap what I planted. That's it. And you begin to do the actions: water, weed, water, and weed, as in dig up the weeds from the garden, guys. That's what I'm talking about. And in no time at all, you will reap your harvest by simply staying focused and diligent. Yes? Do not get up and throw rocks in your garden. Do not be throwing rocks in your garden. Mm? That's like spritzing your garden with vinegar. What do you think it's? What's the vinegar and the rocks? Oh my God, this is never gonna happen. It's taking too long. I can't do this anymore. My life sucks. That is throwing rocks and vinegar in your garden. There's only one outcome from that. You will kill the thing that you've planted. All you need to know is the same way you do it in the garden outside is the same way you do it in your own mind. Why? The law of correspondence: as above, so below. The thoughts that you have in your mind that you are planting to say, this is the harvest I am bringing in, you're not begging anybody for it. You don't beg anybody when you put the seed in the ground. You plant it and know because you expect it to show up, because it is law. So who are you begging? You're not begging anybody. Oh, please let my garden grow. That's not what you're doing. So you don't do that in your mind either. You don't beg and hope that it comes in. You nurture it with good thoughts. Yep, I'm doing this. I'm planting. I can only reap it. I'm proud of myself. Because I was worried, I'm sure, but I'm following through. I'm going to pretend I'm in the garden, but I'm in the garden of my mind. Nobody knows what I've planted, but that's exactly it. Your neighbor does not know what you've done on the other side of the fence until you go out in that garden and you eat from it. How will they know? By what you've eaten. They'll know exactly what you've planted. So when you drive your new car, nobody knew that you planted that seed. But when we see it, we know, oh, look at you. Good for you. You did it. And this is what compels us to say thank you. That is what compels us to say thank you. Because you're watching your life unfold like that little seedling. That's what you're doing. So you can't even help yourself. You say, oh, thank you. Let's take a moment to welcome everybody into the space, and then we'll answer that question, my beautiful Cynthia. So stick around. Twitter, Jeff, darling, I see you. Welcome. Hey, the Zen Alien Panda, I see you. Welcome. Welcome. What a beautiful day, huh? Yes, Twitter. A fan base. What we got going on today? We got Coco Love. Oh, well, hello, Danny Milan. I see you, honey. Welcome. Summer Rose, I see you. Miss McQueen, KZ Flows, Smiles. Zola, Yolanda, I see you. Welcome to the space. And you know, I haven't seen him all week. Smoking. I haven't seen him all week. He'll come today, I'm sure. Late, but he'll come today. Facebook, we've got Indy uh, and Anika. Welcome, Facebook. YouTube, Cynthia Darling and Olivia. Empress Ella, Anot. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, I see you. Also, the replay gang, I see you too. Cynthia asks the question, how do you adjust when what you envisioned is being challenged by something that you do not have control over? There's only one thing you have control over, and that is you. Cynthia, because you asked that question, I will tell you a little story, just like I told fan base this morning before everybody else got here. A young lady was in the same predicament just 24 hours ago, as a matter of fact. And she says to me, "Well, Angela, I've just, I'm not even going to bother anymore. I'm just going to do whatever." And I said to her, "It's okay. Everything is going to work out." You guys are getting the condensed version. I said to her, "Everything is going to work out," because she had applied for a new position. Yeah. And the neighborhood that she wanted to go in, because she's in Italy. Yes. So she wanted to go somewhere that had more nature. But instead, they had transferred her to the city. To the city. And she's like, "Angela, I don't want the city. I don't. I didn't want to go to the toll bridge." That's what she's saying to me. I said, "Look, everything is going to be just fine. Remind yourself of where you said you wanted to be." She goes, "Well, I want to be in the country, where the nature is." I said, "Then that's what it is. That's where you're going." Hmm? She messages me this morning and she goes, "Well, Angela, I got an email this morning and they apologized. They sent me the wrong information. I'm going to the place I always wanted to be, in the country with nature." Now, I have two options when she tells me these things. I can, "Really?" Or I can say, "I told you so." I opted to go, "Really?" And so I gave confetti. I'm like, "Oh, well, you deserve all the good things in life. What did you think was going to happen? You planted that seed." And it was beyond her control because that came from head office. And that email, when they sent the wrong information to her, came out weeks ago. Yeah. So all you have control over is you. What did you plant? Then that's where you keep your attention. Of course, yes, it looks impossible, but what did you plant? You know what you planted, and you have to remember, trust the process. What does that mean? It means you reap what you've sown. That's the process. That's the process. You will reap what you have sown. Don't allow yourself to be pulled in any other direction, because I know sometimes we get worried because we think, "Oh no, but the deadline is approaching." Well, still pack anyway, right? That's how you stay where you are, by controlling you and what you've planted. And how do you get rid of the worry? You remind yourself, "Okay, look, I said this is what I'm wanting to experience. This is the experience I'm creating for myself. Yes, I know this. But you see this thing right here? This is really sticking in my craw and I don't like it. But that's okay. That's them. I don't have control over other people. I just have control over me. So, how am I going to do this? What would I do in the garden if I saw some invasive weed and I didn't want to just poison the whole garden? What would I do? Well, I'd look at what that kind of weed is and how can I get rid of it naturally? Well, I'd pluck it up. Yeah. Now, how would you pluck it out of your mind? By turning yourself in the direction of what you said you wanted to do. Let me read. Cynthia, you know what? I love this. Listen to what she says. "I planted in my mind my first triathlon would be completed in 3 hours on a nice sunny day. The weather report is calling for thunderstorms. The thunderstorms will happen when you're done. The thunderstorms will happen when you're done. Or they can start and end before the triathlon. Either way, you're running on a nice sunny day. Either way you look at it, before or after, but not during. It can't be during because that's not what you wanted. There are many things that can happen here to confirm that for you. Hold fast to your nice sunny day in your 3 hours. I know you think you don't have control over the weather. You might not have control of the weather, but you have control over you. Mind you, there's a man in Bogota, allegedly, who the government hires to influence the rain. Hmm, allegedly. I heard that somewhere. So, Cynthia, what are we going to do? I'm running that race on a nice sunny day in 3 hours. It is already done. Period. Of course, you're going to have to fill me in when you've run the triathlon. You'll have to fill me in. I'm looking forward to hearing your response. Don't fret. Everything will go as you've seen it and planned it. You must hold fast to your vision. You must. What else are you going to do? Right? You can't just go out to the garden and say, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed by the harvest. No, hold fast to the vision. That's it. What else is there to be done? You have to hold fast to your vision because what happens there is, even though you and I don't see what's happening vibrationally, because everything moves. This is the law of vibration. Everything moves. Nothing stands still. Everything is moving. So we are moving through this world. And as we have an image in our minds of what we are creating, we are bending, we are bending reality. Shoot, you're even creating it, is what I would say. You're molding it and shaping it to match your vision. How do you do that? Opportunities, somebody calls you, you go somewhere, something happens. All those things, Neville Goddard calls it the bridge of incidents. All those things are happening to do what? Shape the outcome you said that you've called into existence. That's what's happening. Even though you might not see it, it is all coming together. It's all coming together, right? So the only option is for you to hold fast, just like the potter. You don't know the image the potter has in their mind until the wheel stops spinning and they cut whatever it is off the wheel. You know how you slide the cord under and just it pops off? Then you'll know what they've had in their minds. But as they're molding and shaping the clay, you're like, oh, that's a vase? Is that a mug? Is that a bowl? Like, you don't know till they're done. It all has to take shape, it all has to come together with every turn of the wheel. That's what you're doing, but you just can't see it. That's what I'm saying to you. You know how when you see things, you go to the gym and you start working out and you begin to see your muscles take shape. In the very beginning, you don't see that. But the more you do the thing, the more it takes shape and you're going to see it. And we see these things and we say, what a coincidence. Oh, what a synchronicity that is. That's things taking shape. That is the law of correspondence. The image within your mind is what is taking shape on the outside, as within, so without. I know you guys don't know why I'm laughing. Well, fan base knows why I'm laughing. Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, y'all don't know why I'm laughing. I did say smoking, didn't I? I said late, but he gonna be here. And there you are. It's good to see you. Oh, snap. Look, all I'm trying to tell you is this: just say thank you, okay? Just go through your day today and say thank you. Why are you going to say thank you? Because you now know that when you say something, just like Queen Red Pill is saying, if I think it, it happens. Sometimes at the exact moment and sometimes later, but it will happen. Of course, because you have the ability to call those things that are not as though they were and they become. That's what you're doing day in and day out. It's just perhaps that you've been pointed in the other direction. And that's why you're so successful with the ho hum. And now that you want to turn yourself in the new direction to go, yay, you think it is hard. No, you've just had more practice going ho hum. That's all. But remember this: the more you practice, the better you get at what you practice. This is not magic, this is law. Why? Because the thing that you're practicing is the image that you're holding inside of your mind. Why? Because the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Nothing starts outside of the mind. Nothing starts outside of the mind. Without the mind or let's say the awareness. I'm not talking about your brain. I'm talking about your awareness of something. Your awareness, your quote unquote consciousness. Everything starts there. And then it takes shape on the outside. Because if it has nothing, if it has no blueprint, it cannot be recreated. What's the best example of that? Go to a realtor and say to them, "Hello, George. I'm here to buy a house." George will sit and blink and look at you, and eventually George will say, "Sure, tell me more." You now have to paint an image for George, do you not? You have to tell George what kind of house you're looking for. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Are you on an acreage? Are you in the city? Huh? You have to paint a picture for George, an image. The more clear the image is, the more success George will have in bringing you something back that matches. It is exactly the same way. If you can do it for the realtor, you can do it for yourself. Some people say, "Well, I'm going to go to the restaurant." And you say, "I'm hungry." Okay, sure. Tell the waiter you're hungry, and he'll say, "Well, clearly you're hungry because you're in the restaurant. You don't come to a restaurant if you're not hungry." So you see, clarity is required. So you must be clear about that image, that mental image. You must be clear about it, which means what? Know what you want. If you don't know what you want, how can you recreate it? Get in the back of an Uber and say, "Hi." He's going to look at you in that rearview mirror and say, "Mm-hmm. Where are we going?" You must have a destination in mind. Without a destination, where are you going to go? Hmm. So again, a mental image is required. So you see, the universe is a mental creation. So it doesn't matter how you want to say it, what kind of fancy words you want to use. That's why Neville Goddard tells you, begin at the end. That's how you plant your garden. You don't just go look at it and start digging. No, you know why you're digging. You say, "Well, I'm going to plant me some butternut squash because I want to make some butternut squash soup." That is the end. And that is why you dig up the garden and you plant the seeds round bottom down, pointed end up to get butternut squash. But without the mental image, you cannot recreate it. Thereby, it is impossible. But all things are possible so long as you have the mental image to recreate. You see what I'm saying to you today? The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As within, so without, as above, so below. Everything vibrates between two poles, polarity, a swing to and fro, always taking you from where you are to where you're going. And you can't stand still, so you're always moving from to every day. And that from to develops a rhythm. You begin to recognize how long it takes you to go from something to something else. That's how why we can predict winter, spring, summer, fall, because we have a rhythm, high tide, low tide. And causation. What causes the tide? Ah, high tide is the effect of what? The closeness of the moon. Cause and effect. And gender. Well, you must plant a seed. So it is projected. Projection is masculine. The thing that comes forth from the womb. Feminine. The action of bringing life forward is feminine. So you see, the process of creation is always going to be the same. And that is why you say thank you. You say thank you because you now know that. You now know that it may appear as if you're stuck. But when you remember the law of vibration, that everything moves always in a swing to, to every time, then you know you're not stuck. You know that if you have a problem, the seed of the solution is always going to be inside that problem. So when you're looking at the problem, you're not looking at the problem to complain. You're looking at the problem to say, "Ooh, where's the seed of the solution?" How do we know? Well, if you're barefoot as a problem, what's the solution? Shoes. If you're hungry as a problem, what is the solution? You better eat something. If you're thirsty as a problem, well, then you better have a cool, refreshing beverage. Huh? This is what I'm saying to you. Always, the law is going to work in the same fashion every day, all day. You can say thank you for the fact that you now know that you're not stuck anymore. You see what I'm saying to you? Always be always be deliberate. Sometimes the words want to come out of my mouth faster, but you know how it is. Be deliberate in your gratitude. Be deliberate. Always. So you see today, my beautiful friends, hmm, what's causing you to say thank you? Queen Red Pill. Somebody asked me the other day, how did I know the end result of something and you said, I knew it would happen because I said so. Uh, Well, you can't say anything else, right? Well, how did you know it was going to turn out that way? Because that's the way I wanted it to go. You see, that's why there aren't any surprises. There aren't any surprises. If you look, you will recognize that there aren't any surprises. Cause and effect tells you there aren't any surprises. So does rhythm. They all tell you it's no surprise. Well, I didn't know that was going to happen. So you see, my beautiful friends. Hi, David. I see you. Yes, Miss Cynthia, start at the end. It is just like I say, you know, when you say, look, we're going on a tour. We're going to tour this city. You always plan backwards. You say, we're going to end up here. Now you plan the route out to get there. Always start at the end. The end. It's like saying, I want to have a baby, but that's the end. You know what you want, but now you know what you have to do. Plant some seeds. Right? Cabbage Patch Babies? I digress. Anywho, start at the end because you see the completed thing. If you don't see the completed thing in your mind, how are you going to copy it? That's the point. You see, then we ask the question, well, how? How am I going to get it? Naturally. That's how you'll get it. Well, it can't come unnaturally. How do you mean naturally? By way of law. you will go through certain experiences that lead you up to that thing that you created. Quite like 14 years ago, when I found out I was pregnant, surprise! And I said, well, we're going to have a home birth. I didn't say anything other than that. Of course, my family was like, what if something goes wrong? Blah, blah, blah. That's not a good idea. And my response was, well, my granny did it. She had 8 babies, a pair of twins in the mix, at home. I can do the same thing. Because you know how your girl is stubborn, right? No problems. 6 hours. Even the midwife was like, how did you do this? I'm like, what do you mean? How did they do what? She goes, first time mothers never have that short of a labor. I'm like, I'm like, what are you asking me? How am I supposed to know? I was the one here pushing. I don't know. 6 hours, start to finish. And he looked at me and he scowled. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And he's been scowling ever since that one. Probably because I tickled him unmercifully while he was in utero. Because I found out he was ticklish. Oh, it was the greatest thing. But I digress. You start at the end. And all the things that you go through are leading you to that. That's why you say thank you. Because you know that what you plant, you're going to reap. And again, I will say this to you. Even though you might feel, right, that it's impossible, what makes something possible? A clear image makes it possible. How so? Go put something on the glass of a photocopier, a nice crisp image and a blurry one. Hit copy, and what happens? Well, the clear image will be clearly recreated, wouldn't it? And the blurry one? Blurrily recreated. So the more clear you are, the more clear the thing that is recreated. That's all around you. It's all around you. So now use the law of correspondence, right? As within, so without, as above, so below. Yes? If it works for the photocopier to have a clear image, then my mind is the glass of the photocopier. Where's that clear image? This is why people put a vision board together. Not because they're hoping it happens, but they want to be clear that when they look at it, they go, yep, that's the one I'm recreating. That one right there. And they cut it out and stick it there. So when they see it, they are impressing it on their subconscious minds. So you see, it is all around you. That's why you don't just go job hunting. What kind of job are you looking for? Be clear about those things. You must have clarity in your life. It will bring you great peace of mind. Oh, yes. Because when you know what you're recreating, there's no confusion, there's no worry, there's no fretting because it's clearly before you. Now you know exactly what action, because you'll be seeing the opportunities present themselves. That's what you'll be seeing all around you. Hmm? And that's why you say thank you. hmm You say thank you for the way now that you learn to speak to yourself. You say thank you because when you look in the mirror, you don't say foolish things to yourself like, oh my God, I'm so gross. You don't say dumb shit to yourself. Sorry, Olivia. Don't be saying things because your mama is not going to be happy. So don't say that. Okay? Don't say that, Olivia. Anyway, don't say foolish things to yourself. If you are going to utter words, be deliberate about the words you say to yourself. Because when you speak to yourself, you are molding and shaping yourself. Oh, indeed. So pay attention to what you say to yourself. You can say thank you for that. You can say thank you for that. Oh, I don't have to say foolish things to myself anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you today. Know all of the reasons why you say thank you, so that when you say thank you, you are deliberate. And a seed of thanks, well, that becomes a beautiful harvest, doesn't it? You see, when I tell you that I love the law and the freedom and the joy and the peace of mind and the ease and the relaxation that it brings, I'm not kidding. Of course, the whole world will say, yeah, but you don't live on the mountains. I'm like, well, I'm not that keen on heights, but I digress. See what I'm saying? My idea of success is not yours. Your idea of success is not mine. So for me, I move through life deliberately, more and more. I'm learning how to do it, and I'm applying it, and I'm practicing it, and I'm doing it every day, just like I'm teaching you to do. Because things will begin to make more sense. And you'll find that if you're busy focused inward on your heart, yes, you're going to notice that the things that are going on in the world are not going to harden you as they would other people who don't know the law. Remember, every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. The effect of you being aligned with the law is far reaching. You can now teach it to your children. You can teach it to your grandchildren. You can teach it. You can live it. And I guess, what scripture tells you, train up a child in the way it should go and it will not depart from it. Why is that so important? Because when you lay down what a child becomes, when you teach them the law 40, 50 years from now, you see what I'm saying? How far reaching that effect is? Look at how far reaching it was for us because we didn't know, and look at what we were taught, and now look at us. See what I'm saying? But you have to remember this. It doesn't matter how long you've been on this planet. It doesn't matter. So long as you look at something in your life and you say, oh, well, that will not do. I'm changing it. You know, it doesn't matter what your age is. You know what matters? The clarity of the image. That is what matters. Because if you're clear about that, you'll change. That is why you say thank you. Because you know you can change you. That is why. Yeah? Hey, I see you. Your name is different. Geck. I see you. But I trust that makes sense to you today as to why we say thank you. There are many reasons to say thank you, but none of them are random. Give thanks. Why? Because you are putting in the work. Look in the mirror and say, thank you. I did that. I reminded myself that I reap what I sow. Thank you. I'm free. Thank you. I'm aligning myself with the law more and more every day. Thank you. And all of a sudden, somebody's going to come along and say, hey, well, you're positively glowing. What are you doing different? You trying some new skin thing? You doing Botox? They'll ask you all kinds of crazy things. And then you get the opportunity to say, well, I've got this incredible thing I've been doing. Cellular regeneration. Really? Yes. You know how you do cellular regeneration? Align with the law. And as within, so without. The law changes you on a cellular level. Oh, you doubt me? You ever encountered a really bitter person? And the first thing when you look at them, they say, ooh, you had a hard life. How so? It's written all over their face. Yeah. But you got the light of the law within you. Well, light shines, doesn't it? From the inside out. Sorry, couldn't help myself. See? So you don't have a choice but to look good and young and spry. Yeah? Because even the Bible tells you joy does you good like a medicine, but sorrow rots the bones. Mm-hmm. So you see, you have many reasons to say thank you. Zenity, darling, how would you respond to a child who says, Mommy, I wish I could have everything I want? How do you respond to that? You say, well, start here. What is it that you want to create? Because you don't want it, you want to create it. It's like a piece of artwork. It's like drawing. You have an image in your mind, right? You can also do the grocery list. Cynthia, when you're going to the grocery store, you write a list. You should be writing a list. Hmm? Don't go hungry either. Anyway, we'll touch on that in a minute. But you write your list down. Why? Not because you want somebody to give it to you, but because you're going to get it. You are doing it. So you must be clear about what it is you want. Why? Because you're creating it. So then you ask the question, what is it that you want? And you write it down. And she can write it down in her own handwriting. Get her to be as clear as possible. Year, make, model, color, all those things, as clear as possible. And you tell her. I don't even know I don't know if she's listening, if you guys have gone to school already. But if you catch the replay, I'll say it this way. Olivia, darling, when you want something, it is something you want to create for yourself. What is that thing? Number one, write the name of the thing down that you want. Number two, can you see it real clear in your mind? Do you know the color? Whatever that thing is, you write down everything about it. Why? It's the same way if you say to your mom, Mom, I want to go here. As long as you give your mother clear instructions, can she not get it done? But that's exactly the same thing you're doing, but now you're doing this for you. You're going to experiment to see that you're this little tiny creator, and you're going to grow up and continue to be a creator, right? So write down everything of that one thing right now that you say you want. And now that you've written it down, it's just like the seed in the garden. Now you've planted it in your mind. How would you treat the things in the garden? You'd water them, right? Good. So now, how do you water that thing in your mind? You say, oh, I planted this seed, so it has to grow. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think about it anymore. Something's going to happen, Olivia. You're going to start to see things happen that make you think about the seed you planted. And those things are taking you closer to it. And then you're going to get it. But not because you asked somebody for it, but because you were clear about it. Right? I trust that makes sense, Miss Olivia. If not, send me a voice note, because Mommy does. You can do it too. And we'll walk through it again. Okay? And that way you can tell me what it is that you want. And I'll show you how you are creating it. See? I trust that that makes sense for you all today. Because when we say thank you, we're not just saying it because we can speak. Thank you is an effect. Yeah, it's an experience. You don't just say thank you. It's an experience that you've had that causes you. Because remember, every cause has its effect, but every effect has its cause. That's why you don't say thank you randomly and willy nilly. It is an effect. And that effect will cause you to do something. And that thing that you just did will create another effect. And that's why when you say thank you must be deliberate because it is a deliberate act. Causation. Yes? Queen Red Pill. Zenity. It's good to see you. I hope I'm saying your name right. Is that? I'm trying to see here what your avatar looks like. It looks like Sonic, but I can't see it. It's so small on the screen. Anywho, I trust today makes sense. Go forth today and any opportunity you get because you're going to have a memory, won't you? You will get this memory. And you'll say, that memory will cause you to do what? Say thank you. That's what it will do. And then just say thank you. Because the memory triggered the thanks. Watch what happens in your world when you do it. Me, I'm anxiously awaiting this reply from my beautiful friend. Mm-hmm. Because I asked her one question: what did you learn from this situation? I asked her that. What did you learn? So I'm waiting for her response. My phone is out there and I'm not. So I don't know if she's responded yet. Chances are she did. She's many hours ahead of me. So do not allow rocks and weeds and things to overtake your garden and squirrels. Don't allow them to overtake your garden. Do you know why? You know what they are? Doubts and worries and fretting. Oh my. That's what they are in the garden of your mind. The same way you are watchful and vigilant for your garden, use the law of correspondence as above, so below. So if you're vigilant for the garden, then be vigilant for your mind. Because they are one and the same. The garden of your mind and the garden in the yard. They're both you, are they not? They are both you. Mm-hmm. So you see, many reasons to say thank you. And just do it. And see what happens. See what cause comes out of it. Mm-hmm. Cause and effect. Yes. See what happens. See how you respond. And however you respond, see what that creates. See what I mean? You're always creating cause and effect every single time. Anyway, I do love you, and I appreciate you so much for being here. Um, I haven't said Cyber's name yet for the morning. Cyber. I haven't said his name at all. Well, you are welcome, beautiful Cynthia. You are so welcome. And yes, law school is still going on. We are on chapter 2. We haven't done the live stream for chapter 2 yet because they're reading chapter 2 and making sense of it. So if you want to be a part of law school, my link tree is below, and it will take you to my Patreon. So we learn the law day in and day out so that, you know, you should learn the law. Sure, I give you snippets of the law every day that you can apply. But learning the law for yourself is crucial. But that's there if you want to do that. Also, what is there, if you find that what I do is beneficial to you and you want to say, you know what, Angela, here, I would love to make a donation to what you do because I appreciate your channel. That would also be greatly appreciated, of course. But also, what is appreciated is commenting and sharing this video, liking it, subscribing to my YouTube channel to get, because that algorithm is important. The more you interact with this video, with these morning inspiration videos, we can get them out more into the ears and hearts of people. Because as well as you and I know, somebody came to mind when you said, oh, this person could really benefit from the law. well, then share it with them. But remember this always, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, because only the horse knows when it is thirsty, right? Only they know when they're thirsty. When people are ready, they will change. Yes? Because as within, so without. They have to decide. They have to be clear about what change they want to make. And then, bam, they can recreate the change. That's why you can't force anybody to do anything. It is ill advised to force somebody to do something. Then it just becomes a harm to them. But you can plant a seed. You know, I know this channel that could really help you. If you're interested, that's what you can do. Leave it up to them. Ah, Jay, how good it is to see you. Oh, and look at Jay. Listen to what Jay says to me from the Song of Solomon 2, chapter 2, verse 15 through 17. It's the small foxes that spoil the vine. It's the small foxes that spoil the vine. Think about that for a moment. Have you ever seen a fox? Oh, they're the cutest little things, aren't they? And they're always screaming for some reason. I don't know why. But think about it. They go there and they gnaw at the root, don't they? That's what worries will do to you. That's what fretting will do. They become like small foxes. So you see, if you learn to use the law of correspondence, you can learn many a thing. So the small fox, what kind of thought is that? You see how it gnaws at you? Well, he's doing the same thing to the vine. And eventually, what happens to that vine? Ah, yes, it expires, doesn't it? So, what do you think constant worry will do to you? Not just your mind, it also does it to your body. Because what's going on in the mind has to be seen where? On the outside. So, you see, learn to use the law of correspondence. Everything around you is teaching you. KRS1, I saw a thing that he said the other day. He said, I'm going to paraphrase. So if you look outside and you see like the world is going to hell in a handbasket, right? With all the dumb things we're doing. He said, none of them can circumvent the law. Huh, fancy that. The law. I wonder what law he was speaking of. Hmm. Could it be mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, gender? Yes. Nothing. There's only one thing above the law, and that's because the law comes from it as above, so below. If you see the law below, then it's coming from somewhere, isn't it? Something above it. There's only one thing above the law, and that is the all, because they come from the all. And I'm not talking about little g in the Bible, but I digress. That's for another day. Right. Hey, Walter. Yeah, Jay. I mean, I don't necessarily listen to rap, but KRS-One, I know the name, and he has always been very poignant in his lyrics. He's always been conscious of something. Jay says, yes, yes, y'all. Right? So it's just, yeah. Like if you look back through time and people, you'll see that the law was always there. Now that you know what you're looking for. Yeah. That's what is so beautiful about what you've been given. Now you understand why you bust a move and throw confetti when you recognize, oh my God, I can change my life. I don't have to stay the same. You got that right. Does that not inspire you and fire you up? Ah, the better man is in the house. Ooh, ooh. I see you. But yes, anywho, I don't want to yak your ear off because you know you know what happens, right? I get all fired up and then, like the preacher says, I ain't gonna hold you long. 3 hours later. No, we're not having that because my child will break down my door talking about, Mom, I'm hungry. Right? Anywho, I trust all is well. And if you have any questions, click on the link tree. It's in the description for YouTube. It's in my bio for Twitter and Fanbase. And there's a little envelope there. You can message me. Whatever social media platform, they're all listed there. Yes, I'm on Telegram too, and Lisa or Liza. Oh, I see you just popping into Twitter. Honey, you gonna have to catch the replay. But you know how to communicate with me. Yes? Telegram, WhatsApp, uh, Insta, Twitter, uh, TikTok. Lord have mercy. And no, I did not get the new one because I am one person with a pair of arms. Unless you're volunteering to be my personal assistant for media, social media, sure. But, oh, Lord, no. Mm. Well, Jay, you know what, Jay? I'm gonna have to reach out to KRS-One. Yes, Jay. I don't even know where to begin to do that, but I'm sure Google will be a good assistant, to at least get started. So, anyway, Twitter, the countdown has been initiated. My son says, Mom, you got to do it in your computer voice. He goes, You're so good at that. And I say, Affirmative. But countdown initiated. 5, 4. Oh, Liza, Jeff. Oh, Love Troll, baby. And Gek, I see you. Thank you for being here on Twitter on this lovely Friday. And I'm going to check for you all on Monday. Yeah? Oh, let me do it. Let me do it. Because I feel cool this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Anyway, I love you. Twitter, enjoy your beautiful weekend. Make it so. Twitter is closed. Fanbase, I see you, Triple S, smoking. Coco, Danny Milan, Summer Rose, Miss McQueen, KZ, Flows, Smiles, Zola, Yolanda. I see you. Thank you for being here and just thank you for the love. And I appreciate you. Yeah? Ah, you guys are awesome. Enjoy your beautiful weekend. And I'll be here. Yes? Joyce, girl, we just finished, honey. But you'll have to catch the replay on YouTube. That link is in my bio, in my link tree. All my social media is there, but you'll have to catch the replay. Listen, it was lit. The questions were on point, right, Joyce? Alrighty, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Love you. Fan bases closed. YouTube, I see you. I'm gonna turn the volume down there, and then I'm gonna pop into Connie. Hey, Queen Red Pill, you're welcome. Cynthia, you have a great day too. You and Miss Olivia. And yes, Connie, yes, honey, you'll have to catch the replay. But all is the last remnants of gravy from the bowl. Um, you guys just make it all so, so beautiful. And the better man and Jay, I'm going to look him up, Jay, on YouTube for real, because I would love to do something with him. I really would, because he's been, I think I would say he's considerably older than I am, so he's got more experience. So he would have something to share, and I would love that. Um, yeah. And Walter, Zanity, thank you for being here. David, darling. And Sherelle. I hope you're still here, Sherelle, darling. Mm-hmm. Empress Ella, A not. Now I haven't said Asonia yet either, or Sinovia. Hmm. I haven't said their names yet for the day. What's that face for, Connie? That's how my son looks at me when he says, "Oh, mother." He's like, "Oh, I can't take you anywhere." That's what he says to me. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" That's the face he gives me, right? Hey, Zola. And Zola, yes, I'm glad that smoking is okay. Yeah. I guess all I have to do is say his name loud enough. I guess that's all I had to say. You know, it's just a holler, right? But yes, remember, as you go through today, as you go through this day, there is something that you want to say thank you for. Be deliberate about that and say thank you. Yeah, sugar visions, right? Sugar visions. I see you, baby. But that's exactly that. Thank you is so important, importante. Hmm? And you know that, right? But now you know why. Ah, that simple thank you. It does so much. And it pulls you through so much. Like I mentioned to you every day, it's not every day that you're going to be, the hills are alive with the sound of music. It's not every day you're going to be that way. It's not every day you'll be ho hum either. But there's one thing that remains constant, and that is the law. And so long as you remember the law and align with it, then you remain constant and you don't get on a roller coaster. Just emotions taking me over. See, then you don't end up on a roller coaster, right? And that is always, you always want to be steady. But the law is steady, isn't it? You can set your clock to it. You can take it to the bank. It is predictable. It is reliable. And a funny thing happens to you the more time you spend with the law, you become like it. Birds of a feather sort of thing, you know? So I trust that all makes sense to you today. And you know I love you and I appreciate each and every one of you. There's 16 of you here. Lord have mercy. Whew. Now I know if Mick Genre was here, I think she has projected her energy outward. She goes, just keep her talking, you know. And she'll be here, you know. Yes. So I want to say I appreciate you all. And if you have a suggestion for a topic, I have some that I'll be putting into the calendar coming up. Queen, Red Pill, don't make me sing it. Rock steady, steady rocking on. You see what I'm saying? This is this is what you do to me. Yes, so I'm adding the suggestions to the calendar for July. So make sure if you have a topic you wanted covered for. Now, some topics are morning inspiration and some topics are workshops, depending. And yeah, right. There's a difference between morning inspiration and a workshop. A workshop is information. Morning inspiration is get you up and out the door. Mm? Anywho, thank you all for being here on such a lovely Friday. And I definitely look forward to being back with you again on Monday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes? And now I got to go find a way to, well, no, I don't, do I, Jay? I don't have to find a way. I just have to be clear about what it is I want with KRS1. Mm-hmm. Call those things that are not as though they were, and they become. Yes? Peace. I love you all. Now, wait, you see what I mean about trying to close things with just one hand? Double A vibes, baby. I see you. I see you, double A. And now I will close. I see you all. Much love.